that I spent all day screwing with this. I did record this segment before, but the audio wasn't working. And has really started to bug me. Anyway, what I want to talk about, let's fucking go here. What I want to talk about is the now it's 8 o'clock, right? So if it was Monday, we would get straight down into business. But it's Sunday, and it's a little more spiritual mood. We've been in my just checking in here with you or at my desk. Checking in here. We've got my life has been a disaster. Since it's taken me since 3 a.m. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now we've been here watching this. It's taken me probably a year or two to get 5 hours done of one. This is pretty much my focus here, and the stuff behind the scenes that's going on is so troublesome that it's difficult for me to get the main thing that I'm focused on, get some content out on for this. What did I wanted to talk about something here. Okay, it's offensive to be slothful in discharging one's religious duties. So, if I am having a problem experiencing my higher self states and all that, a good place to check is where you're being offensive. So, you could be offensive towards the divine and not even realize it. To practice Dharma with a doubting mind, to be slothful in discharging one's religious duties. So there's no slack on my Mac. I want to talk about, rather than talk about one's attainments, it's a little within spiritual circles. It's a little you should not be doing that so much, is the general rule to talk about one's attainments. In practice, it might be like you have it, this cult power, and then once you start talking about it, the general rule is that you lose it. So rather than talk about my high attainments, my spiritual ecstasy, what's more probably more helpful to other people is to talk about the places where I've failed in the past. So that's how you can get a true sense of one's character. If I'm just up here talking about what a high demigod I am, um, that's not going to help me or you. So there was this time, it, crap, everything's almost a decade ago now, isn't it? So almost a decade ago, I went back to my past, my hometown. My uncle was calling me up for 6 months. Hey, I know it's been really hard for you out there. Why don't you come back with your family? We got a place for you, and you can stay, no problem. Alright, so I go. It takes me 6 months to move my stuff back there. It's across the country. I get back there, and what do you know? Not even 2 weeks have gone by after 6 months of up and down. Yeah, it's no problem. You can just stay. It's not much, but we got a place for you to come stay with your family. And so I get back, and not 2 weeks later, they can't stand me. And why didn't you? I thought you was gonna. So. And so they get a thug who's a biker to pull me by my hair out of the place and kick me. And then they drive me down the highway while I'm hanging on to the outside of the vehicle. So I'm back in my hometown with nowhere to stay, and I see that there's somebody else in my hometown and they don't have anywhere to stay, and that person has very dark skin and they have very long matted hair and they're always kind of smiling, and they stay at this very liminal space. It looks like it used to be a bus stop, maybe back in the caveman days, because it's entirely made out of concrete. And she stays there, and she has tattered clothes, and every once in a while she goes into the store. And here's my mistake, folks, because back at that time, I was staying. I was on a high level of perception. I was fascinated by the fact that I could see these animals in the forest, but I was located somewhere else, close to the forest, but outside of the forest, and I was seeing them all like, oh my gosh, it's a spirit animal and spirit world, and everybody's love and connected. And that was not going to fly with the rest of the world, because where I was staying was behind the Kmart. And of course, the Kmart is closed. And every morning at 3 a.m., the cop would just somehow know where I was. Anywhere I would go in the town, he would just happen to know where I was. I'm sure he wasn't just checking where I was on my phone. He would just happen to show up every morning at 3 a.m. and make me shuffle along a couple blocks from where I grew up, from where my uncle stays to this day, where he's in there smoking crack and meth and doing speedballs and being a pedophile. As you know, as you have known, as I have repeatedly updated you folks watching this, and you have done diddly squat for me. So he's in there right now, and he has a piece of paper that says, I have this house and you don't. And I don't have that piece of paper, so here's where we are. So I'm outside and I see this person who's a description of like a Sid Hanath, like a perfected being, and they're here, they're testing me. And what I can muster to do, this is, I'm sharing with you my failures, not the I can see animals. The important part is what I thought to do was I knew close by that there was a dumpster. And inside that dumpster they put the old bagels from yesterday. They're still fresh. You can get a whole big bag of these bagels. You just got to take them out of the dumpster. And I snuck over there at night, and I got a whole big bag of them. And I brought them over there and thought I was being such a nice guy. And on the way over there, my tire on the bike got flat, and I'm just cursing my lot. But I still deliver these bagels, bag of day olds to the very old saintly being who was kind enough to reside in my town. And they never took them. They never took a look at them because it's something from the trash. So there's I've always run into this problem with spiritual people and swamis and stuff, because their advice to me after meeting me and after getting to know me for a long time, probably longer than is their mystical advice to me personally, is that I should somehow mystically, magically get off of food stamps, because that's not the right way to practice yoga. Blah, blah, blah. Oh, look at me. Yeah, that's pretty much how I have been treated. After all my meditation and shit, I'm coming back to report that I have not found the mystical, magical way to get off of food stamps, which, by the way, is not enough food to eat every month for the past probably 11 years or so. I've gone hungry every single month because it is not enough to eat food stamps. But I'm somehow see, I don't have it to give out. Anyway, and this is the second failure that happened in this time, and this is my most embarrassing thing I'm sharing with you. Sorry. What happened was I was down to my last, and I literally bought my last thing with my food stamps, and it was raining out, and my bike was chained up, and I was out there outside, and I opened up my last thing. I bought those Lenny's and Larry's yellow cookies. Cake, it's just caked uranium, right? And I was looking down and I'm ready to I'm sad. I'm looking at this lemon poppy seed cake and I'm gonna put it in my mouth and I look over and in the corner of my eye I see none other than Batuka Bayrov. I don't realize this at the time, you see, but the legendary spirit of Hindu mythology comes there and he's looking sad. He's like, it's a school day and this kid is no older than 8 or 9. What is he doing outside? He must be in more dire straits than me. And I, like a fucking asshole, didn't give him my other cookie. And I just felt bad the rest of the day. Should have. But that was the test. That was in life. I'm not gonna get another opportunity like that. You see, you got to be. You can get to some high states and see some high things, but then you'll be tested and you won't be ready for the test, and it's not gonna come again. It's a once in a lifetime opportunity for you to be selfless. So I really screwed up there. And I'll let everybody know that. And that I have no Shakti. And I'm completely devoid of good merits. So I'll let everybody know that first.